Hi, this is Brett with Piano Aha. In this video, I want to answer a question that you might have had yourself. I know that I had it for a long time. Why would it be that a pianist would suddenly do something like this? That is, play with crossed hands. Is she just doing it to show off? I would say that while that might happen, there is an actual reason why you would want to play with crossed hands, and that's what I want to explain to you in this video. So let's take an example of something where the left hand has an accompaniment and the right hand has a melody. Let's take this piece by Mozart. Now, let's say that somewhere later in this piece, I wanted to have the same thing, but where the melody, instead of up here, is dum bum 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 dum. So I have two options. I could either keep my left hand here and just take my right hand down here. That would be one option. The other option would be for my right hand to take over the accompaniment, and my left hand has to play the melody. Now, watch my eyes, and I will try to relay to you what's going on in my brain as I do that. Noch again. So you see, although I was able to do it on the second try, my brain is working overtime. Now, why would that be? Well, I've already learned to play it this way. So my left hand is making this movement, and then my right hand is making this. So my left hand has a certain job and my right hand has a certain job. If I play it with crossed hands, all I'm doing is the exact same thing with one variable slightly changed, and that is that my right hand is moved over somewhat to the left. But everything else stays the same. If I want to play it without crossed hands, then that means suddenly my right hand is having to learn to play an accompaniment. Maybe my right hand has never played an accompaniment. Maybe my right hand has played an accompaniment, but not this accompaniment. In any case, my right hand is having to learn something new, and the same thing goes for my left hand. So both hands are having to learn to do something new. But you might say, well, the great thing is, though, that you can still have your right hand on the right and your left hand on the left. And I would say this is just a good example of something that you might experience as being the normal case is maybe not as important as it needs to be, as it actually is. Because it's not that big of an advantage to have your right hand on the right and your left hand on the left. I could play this, or this, or I could put my right hand here, my left hand here. My hands are doing the same jobs. The only thing we're changing is where they happen to be. Like I said, it's a lot harder if both of the hands are having to do a new job. So, why is this? I don't know. It could be, let's say, one of many things. I'll list three of them. One of them would be habit as far as this piece goes. So maybe I've played this piece so often in this little passage that my hands know exactly what they have to do. So if I move my right or my left hand a little over in one direction, it's not a big deal. So the habit could have to do with this piece. Or it could be a more general habit that the left hand is much more used to playing accompaniments and the right hand is very used to playing melodies. And as far as that goes, I can move my hands as I want and my hands are used to it, right? It could be another thing too. Could be that our brains are wired in such a way that for whatever reason, the left hand is just sort of better at accompaniments and the right hand is better at melodies. Now you might think, well, what about left-handers? Well, I'll tell you what, I know a left-hander who's a very good pianist, and I asked him to do this as an experiment, and his eyes looked about like my eyes as I was trying to play it, and I think it turns out it's not directly at least related to handedness. So what I would love for you to do is to go to the piano. If you want, you can take this passage. This is from Mozart's Sonata Facile, Sonata in C major, and try it yourself. Maybe just learn the first measure or measure and a half of the piece, and then try the two variants. One of the variants is, once you can do it, just put your right hand a couple octaves lower. And the other variant is, really try to learn it where the right hand is playing the accompaniment and the left hand is playing the melody. And you can leave your experiences there in the comments. We'd love to read them. And with that, I bid you happy ahas.